Greetings, programs, and welcome to the Munchkin Minute, your bi-weekly look into some tabletop gaming news and more. I'm your host, Dan, the Board Game Man, and it's your news for October 27th, 2025. Less than 2025 is now behind us, and as always, a gazillion game releases. And I wanted to cover some of the ones that I saw as the hotness from the convention, and just kind of give you some games that I thought were pretty cool coming from there. First up, Bohemians from Plural Games. I won't go into this one too much, but I'll put a link to it again. I covered this one pretty much in detail last episode, but I did see it get a lot of play, and I think it's sold out at the show. So definitely want people to see this one, just so that when it does come here to the States, people can check it out, because it's a lot of fun, kind of decent, I wouldn't say light, but lighter-ish type deck building game, but a lot of fun, and on BGA right now. Next up, Recall, which is kind of completely different as far as weight goes. That's kind of more of a heavier weight game. This is from the designers that did Revive, which is a game I absolutely love. I'm trying to think if it was last year or the year before, but I love the game. Nice kind of medium to heavier weight Euro with a lot of fun the way you do the actions. Now, Recall, very similar. It's hard to say. I can't say that it's similar, but as you look at it, you're like, oh, this has some roots in Revive. So I want to say it's similar, but very much you'll have that feel of doing a lot of the things and chaining things and kind of developing the board or flipping over the boards, since they're all uncovered, they're basically face down as you start the game. And as you're playing the game, you'll be, bringing them face up and then developing the different things and doing your different actions, and then kind of also expanding your game board as you're playing. So it does have that feel of Revive, but it's a completely different game, but still some pretty cool, like anthropomorphic animal kind of feel to it with different factions as well. Looks really cool. I don't know exactly. Well, I mean, it was the release now, so I don't exactly know when any of these will be over here in the US. So I would just assume early next year, either later this year or early next year, for releases of all of these to get here in the States. But that one, 1 to 4 players, plays in about 90 minutes. But I'm going to guess that's a little bit longer, because being a medium to heavier weight Euro, it's going to be a little longer, even when you know kind of what you're doing for that particular one. But it looks absolutely great. A couple of expansions here. First up, Federation Piracy. I absolutely love Federation. This was a really cool Euro game. It kind of went under the radar. When I got it a couple years ago, and played it, I just really love kind of the things you're doing, because each one of your workers in a round can be played on one side or the other. One side for kind of votes, or another side to get you kind of other actions. But and then you're playing them on this main Federation board, where you're doing kind of actions at all these different planets. There's like 5 different planets, and when you play, your worker, so to speak, there on that planet, you then would go up on that track and then do that action. And then also there's 2 different sides to this main Federation board, and that's kind of how you're voting on different resolutions, which will determine kind of how things were scored, and you're kind of getting in everybody else's way as you're playing the game. It's really fun. It's also on BGA as well. It's a little bit longer. This one is a couple hours to probably about 2 hours, depending on how AP prone or analysis paralysis prone you are, but it's really fun. And you can play the base game on BGA, but this one is Federation Piracy, which has a couple of modules to it. So the Piracy module has there's a Piracy module and an AI system module. It says both of them can be played together or separately, and it's also a solo mode, which is what I am going to absolutely run out and buy this one, because I've always wanted to kind of play this game solo and see how it would be. So you've got just other ways to play, other things that expand how you're using your kind of your own board, and another place to go for another, I guess, planet to use with the Piracy board. Looks great. Federation Piracy, a pretty cool expansion for Federation. And another one that I've kind of mentioned in the past, so I'll mention it again here, Lost Ruins of Arnak, Twisted Paths. This was the expansion that came in kind of that big box, the kind of the one box fits all kind of thing. So it was basically just a big storage solution plus an expansion. This is that expansion alone. It's got new maps, new guardians, new sites, new assistants, new solo content, and other mini expansions that they've got, that were unreleased, that I think they were included in other things, but they're another little mini expansion. But I love Lost Ruins of Arnak as well. And you can't beat this as well. So again, hopefully both of these will be early next year. Next up, a kind of a switching gears to a smaller one that was kind of a hotness. This is called Gelati. 2 to 4 players. This was a kind of a lighter game where it's kind of a tile placement game. And as you're kind of putting your ice cream tiles or your gelati tiles out there, depending on where you put them, you're going to be scoring some points, because of adjacency and in rows, and then also secret kind of contracts that you're going to try to form, and you're going to try to get to 50 points. This one looked nice and light. Probably going to only be about $20 once it is released, but it did look like a lot of fun and got some hotness. Another one, this one may be the only thing that I'll mention today that is kind of this season. This is Wispwood from CGE, Czech Games Edition. This is kind of another lighter kind of game. Another one where it's kind of a drafting and you're laying tiles into your own tableau. It almost feels like if you took cartographers and made it kind of a tile laying game, just kind of the way that the different ways of scoring are for the different rounds, and the way you're kind of putting things in front of you kind of reminds me a lot of cartographers, but it's pretty cool with the pattern building. 1 to 4 players. This is a super filler or like a 1 hour wonder, and kind of lighter. This will be a good fun one probably for family time, when I always say like family time, I mean like kind of holidays, or you're just kind of on the weekends, or when you go out to your beach trips and stuff and vacations like that. And finally from Essen here, we've got Movie Tricks. This one looked cool because, of course, there's a million trick-taking games coming out now, but this one looked really cool because you're kind of making movies. So as you're kind of doing a little trick-taking, depending on where you want to tricks, then you're kind of drafting, you're putting cards in your tableau, you're making up these kind of funky movies, kind of reading the titles from left and right, which looks cool. And then depending on where they end up in the columns and the rows, you get different scoring. Just a really cool, very approachable trick-taking game with a little bit of a twist there. And these things I kind of love. 2 to 5 players. And again, this is, trick-taking, so it's going to be less than an hour. And it just looks really fun. And that one is called Movie Tricks. So let's head on over to some more things that I saw. So also new in a hotness, but I think this is just pre-order. I'm not sure if it was there at Essen or not. But anyway, from Lucky Duck, they've opened up the pre-order for Children of Morta. This is a co-op kind of adventure-style game with shared bag building. This one is out a little bit later next month in November. It should be about $97 for the deluxe, $50 for the regular game. I do have a copy of this, and I'm going to start doing some, put up some pictures, maybe even doing an unboxing this week. So look out for that, as well as I'll have some of that on the Geek All Stars Instagram channel as well. Next up, Capstone has revealed Galileo Galilei expansion. This is called Luna, and it introduces the moon as a new object of observation, adding a new scoring mechanic to discover 4 new playable characters, each bringing unique abilities, and additionally, powerful inquisitors enter the game, offering great rewards to those who can successfully persuade them. Map the moon and together enhance your strategic possibilities. I have not got a chance to play Luna, but people absolutely love Luna that I've talked to. I'm sorry, Galileo Galilei, and it was a big hotness. Thomas Hodolek is way on fire. He's got a lot of great games that he keeps putting out. So he's one of these designers du jour, if you will, that's really hot with all his designs. So it looks great. Couple of hits here from Renegade. Renegade is going to be releasing a new edition of quite possibly which one is one of my favorite games of all time. Probably in my top 10 of all time. Lords of Waterdeep, and also going to be putting out a new edition of Scoundrels of Skullport. That's the expansion for Lords of Waterdeep. These both will be out in April 26th from Renegade Games. $55 for Lords of Waterdeep, which is a great price, and Scoundrels is $40 because there's a lot of stuff in that one. This is kind of often viewed as the game that might probably the quintessential game of bridging that RPG or D&D gap and hobby board games. This was a huge and bringing a whole new set of people, like all those RPGers, into our Euro playground, because it's a worker placement game in a D&D setting, and it's just so easy to play. You're putting guys out, you're putting your meeples out. You're also kind of getting whether you're getting clerics or, different color cubes, which are then essentially making you different contracts, getting you points. You're also building buildings. And if you built the building and people can now go to them with their meeple, or their worker, and they're going to be getting a reward, but you're also going to get a reward when people go to your place. You're going to be playing these intrigue cards. Again, this game is amazing. It's so great. One of my favorite games of all time. There's also an app for it in the App Store. You can check it out. I don't think there's a solo play in there, but it might be solo play. I'm not quite sure, but it is great. It also has the expansion in there as well. I guess I only had one thing from Renegade. I guess there was 2 games, but 1 game announcement. So next up, the next wave of hero releases from Fantasy Flight for Marvel Champions. This first one here is the Wonder Man hero pack from Marvel Champions. This one will be out in February of next year. Should be about $19. I'll have a link to it. Wonder Man does some pretty cool things. Kind of, you can actually put some cards from other aspects. Normally you have an aspect and then their own cards. And you just kind of use the one aspect, but you can bring other aspects depending on if they're energy cards, because that's kind of what fuels what he does. You're kind of getting some cards and putting it into underneath this one, tucking it underneath another card, and then that helps up your attack stat when you are going against some villains. What's also pretty cool is some of the allies in his deck, Firebird and Sentry. I'm surprised there's not a Sentry hero pack. If I'm wrong on that, if there is already one, just let me know. But I'm surprised there's not a Sentry. I bet you there will be one in the future for Marvel Champions, but that looks really cool as well. I wanted to, before I get into crowdfunding, I did want to talk real quick about Gamers for Cures. Gamers for Cures is a charity I run, which is raises money for Turner Syndrome Society of the United States and Turner Syndrome Society of the Carolinas. I run it used to be a 24-hour board game marathon. Now it's kind of an 18-hour board game marathon in Cary, North Carolina, here at the Gamers Armory. It's a ton of fun. If you're in the area, stop by. It's on November 8th. Which is 2 weeks, basically 2 weeks from now. There is a lot of, if you want to be a marathoner, reach out for me at gamersforcures@gmail.com. I've got swag bags, you get a t-shirt, and just a lot of fun during the day. I provide meals for the marathoners, but the store is open to anybody, so you can come on down, play games all day. I do have kind of twice during the day. We have, if you're in the store, you can get a raffle ticket, and I just give away free stuff all day long, twice a day. Giving away games and fill up a table and I just draw raffle tickets until they're gone. Anybody in the store is eligible. There's also the game wall, which is one of our most popular things of the year. You can buy dollar tickets to the wall, and you pay for shipping if you're not local. But basically, you can win any of the games that you're looking. You put your dollar ticket into what you want, into the box of the game you want. What's also great is I will have a link to the Gamers Armory site here. I also have a link to gamersforcures.com, and I'll have a link to the Gamers Armory site where you can buy these raffle tickets if you don't live local. Anybody in the U.S. or Canada. I'm sorry, overseas. I'm not sure you want to pay to get it over there, but hey, if you want to pay to get it to overseas, it might be a little expensive, but you can win games just as well that way. But yeah, just you can, I'll put a link to the Gamers Armory site where you can buy those raffle tickets and you could try to win. We always have people remotely win them every single year now that we started doing this. So it is a lot of fun to see some of the names of people that I know that aren't at the event but live far away. So it is a lot of fun. And it is such a great cause. We've raised over $170,000 to date for Gamers for Cures for Turner Syndrome Society. So it is just a really fun. This is our 12th year doing this. Let's speaking of funding, let's go over to crowdfunding. First up, GameFound. I've got 2 from GameFound. We're going to switch on over to GameFound instead of Kickstarter first. First up, we've got the Elder Scrolls Heroes of Tamriel. They've got a bunch of expansions here. This is what I've been kind of hinting towards. I've been playing this like crazy lately, and I just can't put it down. And this is expansions for it, which I can't wait to add to my collection. You've got the Elsewhere expansion, Somerset expansion, Fur and Fang expansion, Heroes of Tamriel expansion, and a Shadows of Oblivion expansion. And there's also some other bling you can get as far as for cards for your adventurers. You can get all the new stuff for $155, and of course there's all sorts of other kind of bundles if you need to get in on the base game or you just want to get absolutely everything. It is well funded. There's only a few days left, but there's always late pledges that you can get in on this one. So I highly recommend this game. This might be my game of the year. I love it so much, and it is absolutely a ton of fun if you like the sort of thing from Chip Theory Games, and that is Elder Scrolls Heroes of Tamriel from the Betrayal of Second Era as the pace game. Next up, just kind of an announcement of what's coming soon on GameFound. Terraforming Mars Legacy. That's one of these things. It says Terraforming Mars, the Legacy of Mars. This is basically a legacy version. The only thing that's interesting to me is that, it's all interesting to me, but the thing that really kind of piques my WTF in a way is there is a fully replayable campaign divided into 2 parts. This campaign is going to be launched with part 1 covering missions 1 through 4. And they say it's kind of repeatable and you'll be playing and it's kind of shaping it. And then part 2 is going to be missions 5 to 7. And that's a separate campaign for late 2026. I don't know why you would do that. Just put it all out. I mean, I know that hopefully these missions 1 through 4 are worth it. If you're just playing 4 versions of a legacy, Man, I don't know. It all depends on price, I guess. But I love Terraforming Mars. Again, one of my first games of the year, way back when for Geek All Stars. I just loved Terraforming Mars. Kind of came out of nowhere, and it is a ton of fun. A lot of games. I mean, so many games right now kind of have their kind of lineage. Arnak. Arc Nova has like that lineage in a way to Terraforming Mars. A lot of games have that kind of lineage of the way the game plays. In that, I mean, even Earth and all these other games have that kind of lineage that can trace themselves back to Terraforming Mars. So, I mean, I'm going to give it a chance, and I want to see when it goes, but I'll have a link so you can follow the campaign as well in the show notes. So just let me know what you think of that one. And then we'll go over to Kickstarter here. Nature, the big box reprint and climate module. I won't really have to say much about this because Nature is, everybody probably knows about Nature. It is one of the big hotnesses. It is a great game, and they've got so many modules. Also, at Gamers for Curios, we've got a silent auction for Nature with all the modules. Well, obviously not the climate module. They've got a new module on this one, which is the climate module. This Kickstarter is about a week and a half. This is from North Star Games. What an amazing game Nature is. They've also got an app that's out as far well as it's on Steam. And they've got the app and on Steam as well. You can get a digital pledge where you can get digital climate from it, and also kind of get a digital climate promo card for that. So you can get in there for that. But also the regular kind of climate module is just $25, and you can get the base nature plus climate for $60, and then there's other ways to get everything else. Again, well funded, about a week and a half to go. I highly recommend this one as well. Another game I highly recommend, which is kind of a little bit different. This is Chronicles of Crime. This is kind of Chronicles of Crime Beyond Doubt, which has 3 kind of new Chronicles of Crime. There's Cryptid Cases, Eldritch Secrets, and Courtroom Justice. You can get in on this one for all 3 of these for $88. Chronicles of Crime is kind of a really cool, I wouldn't want to call it an escape room, but it kind of has that feel like you're solving crimes as you're playing these different cases, and you're kind of using your phone to look at the crime scene, talk to witnesses, and then interrogate witnesses, so to speak, and have just a lot of fun. It's great. These games are so much fun. And again, another one of those kind of party atmosphere or holidays and party atmosphere, when you want to play these games. It's just really, really fun. Dice Throne Vanguard is only got a few days to go, but you can get in on that one. Probably even, again, late pledge. This has got kind of 4 different little Dice Throne heroes in it. I think they're only going to be doing kind of smaller boxes than this, but this is the last one of these big boxes where it's got 3. I think it's got the Sun Elf, Druid, Forge Master, and Duelists. This one you can get in with all the new heroes for $60. Dice Throne is so much fun. It is a lot of fun of a dice game, kind of one-on-one battler. I absolutely love it. I highly recommend, if you kind of like these one-on-one type games, to check out Dice Throne. And this is just another 4 heroes for that game. Of course, there's Marvel Dice Throne, which is also absolutely amazing. 2 more quick ones here. Wonderland's War Duel. If you know me, one of these things that I love is any game that I kind of like, and then Duel at the end, or the dice game, or the card game. But Wonderland's War Duel, not just a smaller version of Wonderland's War, kind of changes things up and kind of expands itself as well. This is about a week and a half to go. Well funded. This one, again, just looks really, really fun, and it's only about $50, which is a really good price for as big or as much as this game kind of looks to be. Really cool 2-player edition of the game itself. Wonderland's War is awesome. I mean, it's a bag builder and just a ton of fun. You want to get kind of that really nice version of Wonderland's War because it's so pimped out and great. It's wonderful. I know the other versions are just fine, but this one is great. But Wonderland's War Duel will be up for about another, little less than 2 weeks, so check it out. And finally, a game that probably doesn't need to be sold to anybody because it'll end up probably by 1 million by the time, I think this just came out today. Cascadia Alpine Lakes. Cascadia is great. Just take my money. Cascadia is awesome. This is not an expansion, but it's a standalone new version. So another kind of where you're kind of doing more tile laying on top of each other in the way you're playing, where you didn't really do that in Cascadia. I mean, you're putting the animals on there, kind of tiles and such like that. But in this one, you're actually putting some of these tiles on top of each other to shape your own landscape. It's only $39, which is, I think, like $20 less than it'll be once it hits retail. So you might as well get it. Looks great. And of course, you know how good the production is on the game, and the gameplay is always going to be solid in these Cascadia type games. So I can't recommend that one enough. It looks absolutely amazing. Some great Kickstarters, some great game found, and of course, another bunch of great games from Essen. Thanks for joining me today. If you see any news you think I would like to feature, easier for me to say, hey, shoot me a message at GeekJockDan on Twitter or the Geek All Stars on Instagram, or you can email me at thegeekallstars@gmail.com. And also, please check out majorspoilers.com for more content by Steven and the rest of the Major Spoilers crew. And also, check out the Geek All Stars podcast. As always, I am Dan, the Board Game Man. I'll see everyone in a couple of weeks for another Munchkin Minute.
This podcast is copyright 2025 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.